So now I'm going to put this whole Slender package project scripts whole thing together. Okay, I've just got a few things ready. There's the scripts package that I made in the last video. And then I've just got some terrain and some models to put around on the terrain, and those 8 cubes that are named paper. And then I've got the scripts, as I mentioned already, and just finally I've got the static. That's just the screen texture and the shader, the alpha unlet self-illuminating with fade. And I've also got the audios actually. Okay, so I'm just going to import all these packages and then I'm going to start building the Slender project. So I'm just going to start with a blank scene. Save the scene in a folder. I'm going to call this game. Okay, so to start off in a blank empty scene, first you create terrain. There's some things to note about the terrain. The terrain has the name. It is named terrain. Look at the components on the terrain. It's just as it comes when you create a terrain in Unity. It has a terrain collider. It is not set to trigger, and you are setting the tree colliders. So that's just adding the terrain. Next, I will add the first person character controller. Assets, import package, character controller. Don't need everything. Just need the first person prefab. Character motor. First person input controller. Mouse script. So that's all we need for the first person controller. Find that in standard assets, first person controller, drag it into the scene somewhere. That's good. Now always check and make sure the collider is not touching or penetrating through any other colliders. Okay. Then you'll note also the first person controller comes with the main camera. So delete the default scene camera. Only use the camera that comes on the first person controller. Now you should be able to hit play. First see first person controller just drop a little, touch the ground, and you should be able to look and walk around and jump. Okay, the character controller is dropped. Jump, walk, and look around. Okay, so before we move on too far, I'm going to rename the first person controller. I'm going to name it Player. Come down to the character motor script, just expand where it says movement, and set the max forward speed to 8, to make it move forward a little bit quicker. Now save the scene. So next I'm just going to bring in some models that are going to sit around in the world. As I was saying, you probably have some models you want to bring in and scatter around the scene. You can go ahead and do that. And when you're finished again, you can play test your scene. Just walk around and have a look to see what's going on. Okay, so that is pretty much setting up a new scene with a terrain and some models and a first person controller. Renamed player, and with its max forward speed movement speed increased slightly. So now we're going to start creating the objects that are going to be involved with the game. So I'm going to create 8 cubes. I'm going to name them paper. You're going to give them textures, and you're going to place them around your world. Okay, so 8 cubes. Different in scale, named paper, and given a texture, a material with different textures. Okay, so that's the next part. Make sure you save your scene. Okay. So the next part we need to do is setting up a plane in front of the camera of the player for the static screen effect. Okay, so we need to set up a plane here. Create plane. First, remove the collider. Don't want the mesh collider. It's a plane with a mesh renderer. Okay, now it's most important that the name of this is static object. Because the way the script's written, it looks for the name of the object. Static object. Make it a child of the main camera. Then zero out the position rotation. Now set the forward Z to 1. Which way to rotate it? It's negative on the X. So minus 90 on the X. Okay, so that builds the player vision. We just need to scale it. Some numbers. 0.2. That still covers the player's field of vision. That's good enough. Right, here we go. 1.15. Okay, so that's creating a plane, naming it static object, removing the mesh collider, and positioning it and scaling it so it covers the field of vision of the camera. 1 unit forward of the camera. Okay, so we're going to create material. This is static. Create material. Static screen. Okay, now I don't think I've done it yet, so here's where I import the shader and my texture. Okay, the information all about the shader can be found in my other video. It's called Static Screen, Static Effect Shader. Okay, so back to making material. So we'll set the shader that's been imported, unlit, alpha self-illumination phase. Okay, now the texture I imported is my static texture. And finally we've made that material, so we can apply it to the static object. Okay, so you should have the static object set up in front of the camera's vision. And on that material, just choose the alpha. You can see how it would work in the game. So that's the shaders working. and the object is all set up and working. Okay, so that's terrain, landmark objects, paper objects, the static object, and the player controller. Okay, so it's time to add the enemy object. So somewhere in the world, create a capture. Before we do anything, I'm going to name it enemy. And just like before with the first person controller, check and make sure the collider is not touching or penetrating through any other collider. Not touching anything, not going through anything. Next, on that enemy capsule object, add component physics rigid body. Leave use gravity ticked, use kinematic unticked. Expand the constraints, freeze rotation, tick them all to true on the rotation. Okay, right now, save the scene. So go hit play and watch this figure drop to the terrain. Okay, and with the rigid body and the gravity sliding down there. Okay, so that's got all the basic objects set up. There's nothing else I don't think we need to get ready. Everything's in place to start adding scripts. Okay, like if you look at them, they're just landmark models, just exactly like it says. Okay, so there's nothing super secret about any of that. So that's the landmark model, so everything you should have is set up exactly like that. Enemy, a paper objects, player, first person controller object, the static object under the camera, all set up. Okay, I will stop the video here and we'll start on adding the scripts immediately next.